Watching something happening here in our country that's raising concerns. We've seen Arizona's governor get in the president's face before. Now something that just happened that might have her doing it all over again. And you wonder why Arizonans feel the government is out to get them. Stuff like this just keeps happening. In case you didn't hear, reports now that Uncle Sam is dumping thousands of illegal immigrants on them, and the state just has to deal. Maybe that is why Arizona Attorney General Tom Horne says the state just might have to sue. Attorney General, good to have you. What's going on here?
Well, the Border Patrol have caught a number of illegal aliens crossing the Texas border, and instead of sending them back to their country of origin, they've decided to send them to the state of Arizona. And so they flew them to Arizona. They could have flown them to Guatemala or Mexico or whatever. They flew them to Arizona, and then they bused them to the Greyhound bus station, and then they just dumped them there with a piece of paper saying, please show up in 15 days for processing, which presumably they won't be willing to do. They've been transported into the interior of the country, and they can just disappear into the woodwork.
Well, how many people are we talking about here? I mean,
it's in the hundreds. It's in the hundreds, Neil. And you know, this is a job that's normally done by the coyotes. The human smugglers are the ones that are supposed to bring the people from the border to the interior. Now we got the federal government doing it.
So they dump them on you. Let's say when they get to these bus stations, it's pretty hot in your state around this time of year.
Over 100 degrees.
So who's watching them when they get off the buses, or are they just wandering just free?
They just let them out. They just let them out, and so I've sent them a demand to cease and desist from transporting people from Texas to Arizona.
And what have you heard back?
Haven't heard back yet, but I cited two federal statutes. One federal statute says that they're supposed to defend and guard the border, which means they could detain people, they could send them back, but there's no authorization there to send them to another state.
But is Texas obligated to give you a heads up? Did anyone in Texas say, hey, I don't know if you heard or not, or did they assume you did know because all these folks going from Texas to your state, be dumped in your state? Someone would have at least had to call, you would think.
Well, this was done by the federal government. The state of Texas had nothing to do with it, and they didn't call. They just dumped the people. You know, the federal government is supposed to be sending them back to Mexico or Central America. Somebody in the federal government has a bizarre sense of humor and said, let's send them to the state of Arizona instead. All
right, but obviously they knew that we're playing with fire doing this because of all the other dust-ups they've had with you. That is the federal government with Arizona officials, yourself chiefly included, and the governor.
Yes, I sue them.
Why do you think they keep doing it?
I don't know. You know, I sue the Obama administration as much as probably anybody in the country. I try to sue them a couple of times before breakfast every day, and so there may be some bad feelings there. But whatever their motive, what they're doing is wrong, and I'm demanding that they cease and desist, and we're aggressively researching what legal avenues are available to us in federal court if they continue to do this, which we consider to be illegal.
And also not too humanitarian. You know, this is pretty cruel, what they're doing.
Well, yes, it's cruel to them, and then there's a separate issue, which is unaccompanied minors who have been sent to a warehouse in Nogales. And however you feel about immigration, when you have kids in your custody, you have to treat them humanely. And I was supposed to go visit today with people from my Child Protection Division. They've postponed that and tell us they still have to do more background checks. So I hope that's not the runaround, that I will be able to go down and be sure that the kids are treated humanely.
Incredible. Sounds like another lawsuit in the making, Attorney General, but thank you very, very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you.